So how can you tell? How can you find out what's compatible? How can you work out if there's no risk of galvanic corrosion? Is there a simple way the installer can do that, Ivan?
Well, at the moment, there's three ways. So one way we already talked about is looking at that series of metal table, which you can actually get that from BlueScope website. The second option, which is a bit more technical but a bit more definitive, is to look at the standard called UL 2703, and it's actually specifically to solar mounting structures. So in this standard, which you can probably show a picture of it, open up. It establishes the potential difference between the two metals. So this is you're looking at the electrochemical difference between two metals. And if the difference is really high, that sort of defines how far they are apart on that table. So on the table currently on BlueScope, you just got a list of metals, but you don't know what how they are ranked. You know what I'm saying? So with this table from UL, from the 2703 standard, they actually define how far they are by a voltage. So if the difference between the two metals are more than 0.6 volts, then there is a risk of galvanic corrosion.
Is that what that line is? That line that comes through and sort of zigzags down?
What line are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at this UL table.
In the middle of the table.
Yeah, the UL 2703. So there's this kind of zigzag line that comes through the middle. What's that all about?
I just look at the values.
Okay. So the lines are relevant. So what was the number again?
So 0.6.
Oh, it's about, yeah.
Anything above 0.6.
That's where the line is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
For future reference, Ivan.
There you go. Maybe we can just edit that part out.
No, leave that one in, Costa.
I am, yeah.
Ivan.
Yeah.
You've obviously, I don't think it was in the email, but there's a BlueScope Technical Bulletin CTB-12.
2005 or something.
2003.
2003, yeah, I read that one.
Under similar metals, aluminium accessories are compatible with all common roofing materials, including galvanized iron, zinc-aluminum, and ColorBond, which is the summary. And then it goes on to say that, well, this is not what it's saying, but another racking manufacturer went on to say that their L-feed was supplied with an EPDM washer, which is installed between the L-foot and the roof cladding material, which its primary purpose is to mitigate water ingress around the roofing screw, but also to provide protection against electrochemical corrosion between the L-foot and the roof sheet. But then, which sort of answers the question around the primary reason for that washer or that rubber pad there. So it's a bit more involved than what we initially thought 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, with the screws, I think that's something we can't change. You're going to need that EPDM on the base. And that, again, that's really to help with the water resistance side of things.
Because the screws, they're stainless steel, aren't they?
Carbon steel with a coating on it. I can't remember what coating is on. But you're talking about the L-foot EPDM on the base, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that rubber, I mean, it serves two purposes. One, obviously to separate the two metals, because we don't know what metal sheeting those L-foots are being installed on. There's like so many different variations. You got iron, steel, all kinds of variations. So it's that rubber there we probably can't go away with, but that rubber also plays a part of the water resistance.
How long does the rubber last generally on the roof?
Good question. We actually went through this debacle a couple of years. I don't know, you can remember, Sean, with that massive project we had? The EPDM rubbers and the frameless clamps.
No. Must have been one of your projects, mate.
I think if it's not exposed to weather, it can last over 10, 15 years.
It's a no-brainer to have, the washer there, the rubber pad, the washer, because obviously it comes pre-affixed to the L-foot generally. But I think you guys, Clenergy, you released the universal clamp, which didn't have the washer, and which I think that brought this topic
Debate.
to life
Mhm,
like a few months ago, and the product was released. So talk us through that a little bit, if we can just go off topic. Well, still relative, but just go off topic.
Just quickly, maybe there was just to finish
Right.
off the last conversation.
Oh, sorry.
No, there was one more point Ivan had, I think, about
Okay.
identifying the.
Oh yes, yep. So there were 3 options. One is the table of metals, which you can
Yep.
get off BlueScope. The UL standard 2703, and the third standard, which actually is the coolest, I think, is that you can actually look at the roofing supplier, say it's a Lysat 406 or whatever. You can look in the install guide, and they actually tell you what materials are directly compatible to be in contact with the roofing sheet, with the cladding. So they've done that purposely. It's probably not with solar in mind, but it was mainly around, flashing, guttering, water drainage, and all that kind of things. But they actually have a table, which you can actually pop up now, that shows what components can be in direct contact, which I think answers a lot of questions, which is going to be the easiest way, or the confidence for the installers.
Which the manufacturers weren't giving out previously. This is something new that sort of happened, that they provided this information.
I don't know.
or-
I think it's actually been around. I just, when you start digging for stuff, you start
Yeah.
finding things. So Lysat had one. I found one for Fieldless as well, almost identical, because they all get stuff from BlueScope, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, they've got this table of, what materials can go directly in contact with their roof cladding. And they've got aluminium. They've got aluminium and yes for, zinc aluminum, for Colorbond Ultra, which is all the roofing sheets you see for, 406, 700, all those guys.
So
I thought that was pretty
if I'm
interesting.
looking at the same one, it looks like the only one it doesn't work on is the
Stainless steel.
stainless steel. Is that right?
Mm.
Okay.
So this is also on this table. What's interesting is that you've got LED on right at the right hand side there, and it's pretty much no. And LED, I think LED flashing is pretty popular. I see it a lot. People use LED flashing. So LED flashing and zinc aluminum, it's pretty much not compatible. And I started digging a bit more, and actually found out a lot of rust issues on a lot of clip lock roofs when people use LED flashing, and it's just destroyed the roof. I thought, yeah.
But then the solar installer gets the blame anyway.
Yeah.
Those
Someone's
clamps.
called up to fix it. My roof's leaking.
You're the last one on my roof. Yeah. Is Clenergy going to have a guide, like a tech bulletin guide with all this information sort of summarized for high quality installers that are looking into this?
Yes. So I've been working on a little, like a table to summarize everything. So I think Costa, I might have sent you the table.
If you do it,
you'll pop it up.
It's coming up now. If you did, yeah.
So on the left-hand side, you've got all the roofing sheets that we've done testing on, and our claims are credited for. And then it pretty much, I think on the right-hand side, it tells you whether you can, according to the roof manufacturer, whether you can have direct contact or not. So this is not even Clenergy saying. This is, Lysat, Fieldless, Stratco, those guys are saying you can have aluminium in contact.
What does
But
the
I think
CEC, what does the CEC say? That's the question.
Don't they just say refer to manufacturer's guidelines?
Yeah. No, actually, I looked up the CEC has done well on this one. So they've actually, hold on one second.
Oh, that's
Don't
not
mind,
what we're
don't
going,
mind
but-
us. Yeah.
They've actually went, so instead of saying, no dissimilar metals, they actually went one step ahead, and they said no dissimilar metal, no galvanically dissimilar metals. So I found, all right, so no galvanically dissimilar metals are in contact with the array frame or supports. So that's actually the technical term of saying it. Because if you say dissimilar metals, that's too broad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you say galvanically dissimilar, then you have to find out what is galvanically dissimilar. Then you look at the option 1, 2, and 3 is what we just talked about.
Which is more relevant for solar installers affixing to a roof.
No, good.
Where is that written down?
Yeah, is that in the like the design guidelines, or is that like a
Yeah,
test course?
yeah. It was in the design guidelines. I think towards the back. during the you know appendix, yeah,
An
4.5.
appendix, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if we can find, we'll find and we'll put it up on the screen just to highlight it to people.
Mhm.
All those ASRs, I'm sure, are aware of it.